All right, here we are then on the writing across of rulership. And we keep going on the 2-4 profile. The 2-4 is the lessons of history, the energy and depth of reflection to learn from the past in anticipation of the future, or the urge to take action despite the evidence of history. The greatest bullshit of all is the way in which we manipulate past history in order to get results in the future. The tribe is constantly being manipulated by the way in which history is manipulated, or in the way in which history is used. You can make an excuse out of something in your history in order to try to get to change the way in which to operate the world, but it's about the ego and its maturation through experience, or the ego not learning from experience. Part of this has to do with the development within the ego of subtleties. As you can see with the Seiko, when you're dealing with a motor, one of the most difficult things is that the subtlety of how you use its power, not blasting things out, not screaming. It's big when you could sort of just stretch it over time. I'm a great storyteller. I love to tell stories. I see how natural it is to read over the years stories have taken on a kind of mythic dressing. They're not distorted, they're not exaggerated, they just have kind of something added to them. All 26 have this gift of being able to package. They're packaging stuff for you. And when you package things for people, you don't want them to see what the rough edges. It's like the gift wrap over a present. Here's the present, I'll go away now. Two fours are the heart of our political system. The two personality is the Democrat, and the four is the networker, and the two four can be the missionary. When you put the two four into the 26 of the cross of rulership, you have the definition what it is to be political. Everything about the 26 is that it's political in the sense that it sells what is politically correct. Everything about its approach is political, and along this line, you get a different political salespeople. You get the ones that want to deny history. You get the ones that want to invent history. You get the ones that want to reinvent history. You get communism and capitalism. You get all that. And it's all rooted here in the 2-4. So it's a very interesting configuration. Anybody else who had the 26 as a 2-4 has a natural tendency to take sides. So this is one of the things to see about the 2-4. They take sides. They're only going to be open at the 2-4 level, at the 2 in the barrier. They're only going to be open to be what is the right side for them. In other words, this is the kind of thing where the first line will sell anything. The first line will sell pure fume that doesn't use, but the second line never could. In other words, the second line needs to have this kind of connection. It needs to have its side. It needs to have its preference. And it will do anything it can to distort history to maintain that preference. It's like the agony that we creationists go through in America trying to get Darwinism and evolution and all of these things. And they keep on trying to sell this particular version of history. The thing that makes it interesting is that this is one of the few examples where we see a second line that's about depth of reflection. We're dealing with a natural. So these are political naturals. When I say political naturals, I don't want you to automatically think political parties. Families can be very political. They're aligned with the father and you're aligned with the mother. In our house, we call that being somebody's lawyer. That's what we have in our house. I'll say something to one of the children and somebody will step in and try to defend the child. It's called being their lawyer. So everybody in my house has a lawyer. It's political. You have to see that this is the nature of the 2-4. Whether it's going to be called out to one side or the other, or when it's called, it's deeply fervent. These are the kind of people that if you have a 26, if you have a 2-4 configuration, and they're turned on by human design, they will tell you that all other systems are shit. It's not a question that all other systems might have some respectability to them. All other systems are shit. This is it. Or the other side. This is better and that's garbage. You really have to see that they're very political. They take their track and they try to influence from that track. So, political people. Then we go to the 2-5. You can see that this is an ego dilemma. The 26th gate is the ultimate ego oppression of the heart center. It's much more the ego expression in the 21, which is the only one that is close to its true ego power. The 40th gate is the gate of denial. The 51 has this other direction to go into. When you're dealing with the 26, you're dealing with the egoist. And because you're dealing with the egoist, to have this gate in an open center is a terrible dilemma in life. For example, with the 2-4, what you really want to get is you get pulled towards one political line and it's inconsistent. Then you think that you're not worthy of even being a baker, or what it is. And then you end up being a super slave to whatever it is. For 2-5, the idea that they would motivate themselves to try to sell another being is like, nah, I don't want to do that. The lower program of the 226 is not comfortable with the consequences of rulership. It's not, because it's transpersonal. It's only interested in the rulership. And remember, the rulership is more than the 26 gate. The 26 gate acts as the marketing wing of the rulership. And all the lower trigon wants to do is get to the marketing out. They're not really clear about what the consequences are. And in fact, they don't care. The classic example: I once sold life assurance, and as a 26, all you care about is selling it. You don't care whether they live or die. You don't care whether it's expensive for them or not. All you want to do is get the product out of it. So the lower trigon does not see the consequences of what it sells. It's only interested in its own ego reward, and the ego does nothing for nothing. The one thing you cannot never expect from the ego is altruism. That's not its game. The ego will only do something for reward. Now, the rewards are different depending on where you are within the ecosystem. But to really understand that and to recognize that this is the basis of the tribe. The tribe is not going to change its allegiance unless it's in their interest to do. And it's only going to be in its interest to do so when there are consequences. If you didn't convert to Christianity, you were in trouble. The 3-5. That's next time. Let's just stop there.